What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? How are you people doing? Man, what a time to be alive. Isn't it exciting? Oh, man, you on Twitter? We're live right now on YouTube. If you'd like to join the chat, join us on YouTube, but we're also live on Twitter, on X, and that's that. Maybe you get a little bit of a break from things like bet you can't spell a fruit without an A, and then you keep on scrolling. And then you see about some poor man's daughter tragically dying from a kiwi allergy. It's bleak out there, folks. It's bleak. Fruit without an A, kiwi. I swear to God, Twitter has turned into Bitcoin maxis arguing about security and a bunch of just trash. Holy crap. Aren't you guys excited? We just had to live through that week, and you came here. You people came here to relive it. I'll try to make it fun. What's going on? Let's check out the chat and see if there's anybody here. There they are. Look at you guys. Thanks for coming. Moriarty, good morning to you. 409, what's up? Good morning, Captain Stryker. Good morning to calling us Chiefs. Why are you trying to call us losers, Captain Stryker? It was a fun opening night for the NFL. This plant is like all over me. Let's move it over. Look at that leaf. Look at that leaf. Jared Goff, David Montgomery, and Amon-Ra St. Brown went out there and beat the Chiefs. Kadarius Toney had a very bad game. I thought in my fantasy football leagues I had gotten a good steal at the end of the draft. He'll probably get it around. There was a lot of buzz about him in the offseason about how he could be, this is who's a great one? Mark Duper. Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, and the Marks from when I was 5 years old, getting passes from Dan Marino. Holy shit. Why did I go to Mark Duper? Doesn't matter. Anyways, Kadarius Toney will probably pull through. I'm a 49er fan. What are you guys a fan of? You guys fans of anything? Good morning, Outsider. IRL, thank you for joining us. Django, good morning, good morning. Fuzzy, what's up? Fisherman, what's up? Blessed for the day. You guys all came. I appreciate you. Afternoon to Mort over there across the pond. Sorry about that. I just do things like this. If you're new to the show, it was nice knowing you. I don't know what to say. Upbeat start, Coop. Thanks, man. I got to say, we're sleep training my son, and that's loud throughout the night. So 6:30 a.m. is quite the thing. Hole in that boat got fixed. Did it get fixed? What are you talking about? Everything's better. Oof, we got to work on that Twitter feed, Coop. It's really bad. Well, I did it to myself, to be honest. I've talked about it a few times recently, but I have been responding. I've been replying to stupid stuff. I really do need to get back to not caring about some of these things because Twitter seems to be getting not fun. What do you mean by you people? Sorry, I didn't mean. I was just talking to you, Moriarty. Bruce, plant trying to strangle you. That's true, Bruce. You are getting out of your triffids. What's a triffid? I don't know. Is that my accent? I don't know what a triffid is. Yeah, Anyways, yeah, the Twitter feed is bleak. Solana had a good week. I didn't even put that in the thing. Solana partnership with Visa, USDC. What else? There was an application for the Ethereum ETF. Everyone's like, wow, look at this. This is an evidence that there's nothing happening, which there is nothing happening with the prices because, of course, why didn't it pump with this ETF spot application? Well, Bitcoin is about to be approved for a spot ETF, and it's stuck at 25, 26. So nobody cares about an application. They got to approve it first. I don't know, guys. Look, So, anyways, yeah, baby is being sleep trained. I slept on the couch because I knew I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to do this. So sorry. Famous book, Day of the Triffids. Okay, cool. Well, I'll look up to it. I'll look it up to understand that reference better, Mort. But anyways, so I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everybody's feeling good. There was did you guys see Algorand, my Algo fam? I don't like Algo fam. I don't know why I say it. I still even hashtag it. Some girl yesterday told me that hashtagging anything deboosts you. I think I'm just deboosted, or just people know nobody gives a shit, and that's fair. You know what I mean? I'm not exactly in the most buoyant mood this morning. Are you feeling it? Are you guys feeling it? But we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna keep on going, and we're gonna figure out what's going on today. We'll look a little bit back at this week, and then we'll carry on. Maybe you guys will be like, all right, I know what happened this week. I had a little bit of fun on my Friday morning or early afternoon or evening or whatever. And now I'm ready to move on, not think about this for the weekend and have some fun. Go to the beach, go on a hike, hang out with your kids, go on a date, do things that aren't this on a computer. Oh, boy. Look at it. I'm depressing everybody. Oh man, I haven't. I've been. I'm not gonna talk about that. All right, folks. Let's just go in. Let's just rip the. Hello, everyday Algonaut. Hello, everyday Algonaut. All right, I'm gonna close this chat because it'll just distract me. All right, so here we go. Let's just go in. We're gonna start at CNBC, see if there's anything happening, how the market's opened, and then we'll continue on. Okay, wrong button. So we go over here. Yeah. All right. All right, cool. Let's go over here. All right. Trump overstated his net worth by up to $3.6 billion per year. New York Attorney General alleges. All right. Well, there you go. Maybe he's not as rich as he's telling us, folks. Okay. Disney drops all but free speech claim. Okay. Oh, wait. I need to refresh this. Kroger. Opioids. I thought Kroger was my grocery store. I guess I do drugs too. Okay. Let's keep on going. Some drama with Apple and China. I think, what was the story? The story is that China is no longer letting their government use iPhones. I guess that's in retaliation to the Hawaii. Is that how you say it? Hawaii ban that people try to do. This is a story. This is interesting. We were going to get to it later, but why don't we just click on it because it's right here. Just make sure you guys can see all this crap. All right. Former FTX exec Salami, let's just call him Salami, to forfeit $1.5 billion, pleads guilty to 2 criminal counts. Former FTX executive Ryan Salame, probably, but let's just go Salami, like I said, pleaded guilty to federal campaign finance and money transmitting crimes. He agreed to forfeit more than $1.5 billion as part of a guilty plea. They were printing cash over there at FTX, weren't they? He was just an exec. Nobody even heard of old Salami over here. Had $1.5 billion to forfeit. Old Salami admitted that from fall 2021 to November 2022, he made tens of millions of dollars in political contributions in his own name, when actually the money came from Alameda Research, the hedge fund arm of cryptocurrency exchange FTX. So we got old Sam Bankman-Fried is probably deep trouble for campaign finance violations. All right. Well, there you go. We don't need to read more about that. I think we know what's happening there. They were fraudsters. And they, by the way, I guess it is worth noting. Actually, you know what? There was something that's interesting over here. I read this. Violations of federal, what their scheme was. That document says that Salami, in a private message to a confidant, wrote that the purpose of these bipartisan donations would be to weed out anti-crypto Dems for pro-crypto Dems and anti-crypto Repubs for pro-crypto Repubs, and that donations would likely be routed through Salami to weed out that Republican side. Salami, who was released on a $1 million bond Thursday, faces a maximum. So they had a whole scheme. He has to... He's only 30. In addition to the monetary forfeiture, which will be paid to the U.S. government, well, Print's got some cash out of that one. The 30-year-old Salami will pay $5 million to debtors of FTX and $6 million in fines to the government. Will surrender 2 houses he owns in Lenox and his 2021 Porsche. That's got to hurt. He was probably out there in his Porsche, 30 years old, billions of dollars in the bank. And now, only millions. Ryan looks forward to putting this chapter of his life behind him. All right, cool. There you go, buddy. Sorry it didn't work out for you. I'm sorry your scheme didn't work out for you. All right, nothing else here I care about. Let's just keep on moving. All right. The markets are looking okay. You got the Dow down slightly. NASDAQ's pushing up, so it's pretty even. We'll go to Bloomberg real quick. Promise I won't stay here too long. U.S. probes made in China chip as tensions flare over technology. Man, I went down a wormhole last night about all of the farmland that they're selling to China. I mean, other countries, and China is only like 15th on the list, but China and factories in the Midwest owned by China, like one was down, like was within 10 miles of where the military is training the Taiwanese military, government or military, buying factories. It's so weird to me that they allow that to happen. Anyways, but at least we let them buy all of our homes. And BlackRock likes to buy our homes too. That's fun. They drive up the prices, make us all renters. You guys are going to be happy by owning nothing. Own nothing and be happy. Just rent from BlackRock. You'll be able to rent your Bitcoin soon from BlackRock too. And then when they decide to fork it for ESG concerns, you can watch your Bitcoin go to zero. It's going to be great, guys. I'm really excited. All right, let's keep on going. Apple 2-day slide nears $200 billion. So they lost $200 billion in market cap from that China iPhone curb. We're going to talk. You guys can see all this crap, right? Yeah. All right, let's go here. JP Morgan is exploring. I was going to talk about that later. I'm going to have nothing to talk about because I don't really. Okay, stop being so negative. Okay, JP Morgan is exploring blockchain-based deposit token. This is another thing. Look at this, man. I swear the government is just transparent at this point. Like they had to get XRP in their place for a while until JP Morgan could figure out how to solve that thing that they were solving. Shout out to XRP. If you're out there, if you're watching, friends of the Algorand community, we love to give you liquidity. JP Morgan is exploring blockchain-based deposit token for payments. If approved by regulators, token could speed up transactions. Effort would mark expansion of JP Morgan's blockchain push. Big advocate, that Jamie Dimon of Bitcoin. He's turned around a bit, I guess, but he until recently was very, very negative. JP Morgan is in the early stages of exploring a blockchain-based digital deposit token for speeding up cross-border payments and settlement, yada, yada. The bank may launch the product for use by corporate clients less than a year after it receives a go-ahead. So they're waiting for the regulators to say, okay. And guess what? The regulators are going to say, okay. Deposit tokens are transferable digital coins that represent a deposit claim against a commercial bank. Essentially, they're a digital version of the deposits that customers hold in their accounts. Because transactions using these coins are processed on blockchain rails, settlement is instantaneous. And proponents of the novel form of money suggest they make transactions cheaper as well. Okay, we'll read this quote and then we'll move on. Deposit tokens bring plenty of potential benefits, but we also appreciate that regulators would want to be thoughtful and diligent before any new product gets developed and used. We love you, regulators, and Gary Gensler. Should that appetite develop, our blockchain infrastructure would be able to support the launch of deposit tokens relatively quickly. JPM Coin. We believe deposit tokens will become a widely used form of money within the digital asset ecosystem, just as commercial bank money in the form of bank deposits make up over 90% of circulating money today. So yeah, they're trying to kill all of the decentralized things and put it in the hands of BlackRock and JP Morgan. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand what's happening? All right, cool. People ask, what happens to crypto if Bitcoin fails? Do you think the entire space fails? I mean, certainly the prices of everything will fail. Technology will continue to be had. And like I said, it'll all be in the hands of big banks and we'll be back to where we started. There you go. Guess this makes sense why they're banning the iPhone. Hawaii's surprise phone gives ammo to Biden doubters on China. I'm not going to read that. All right. Let's go to CoinDesk. What you got? What you got, CoinDesk? Anything? They're killing us with boredom, folks. Understand that. They're killing us with boredom. They've dangled this this action against Binance and CZ, and they're going to just drag this on for as long to shake out all of you. They are definitely shaking, and they're shaking it out. It's working, by the way. People are capitulating left and right. Bitcoin halving is nice, but kickstarting bull run requires fiat money supply growth. Yeah, you mean if you want the bull run, we need money to come in? Yeah. Here you go. We thought they were giving up, but they didn't give up. Oh, go away. Crypto firm library to challenge ruling it violated U.S. securities law. The blockchain-based file sharing network has indicated that it would be winding down after a New Hampshire court ruled in favor of the SEC last November. All right. Crypto startup library filed its intent to appeal a New Hampshire court's decision that it failed to register with the SEC. The SEC filed a suit in 2022 alleging that the blockchain-based file sharing network had violated federal securities laws with the sale of its native library credits, which the firm maintained were not securities. A New Hampshire judge ruled in favor of the SEC. And then following the ruling, library said it was shut down. Under the ruling, library must pay a $111,000 penalty that was revised down from $22 million in May by the regulatory citing the company's near defunct status. The company was also permanently restrained and enjoined from participating directly or indirectly in violating federal securities laws or any registered offering. Blockchain platform Ripple Labs is facing similar SEC allegations over the sale of 1.3 legal billion in XRP tokens. Sorry, I wanted to skip past that, but realized I shouldn't. Legal experts have told CoinDesk that a federal judge's July ruling partially in favor of Ripple that direct sales of XRP. So basically, what this is about to tell me is that library was like, well, Ripple won, so we got to get back in the game. Library shared its intention to fight the ruling on its X account Thursday. Library has dropped about 6% in the past 24 hours to 1 cent. Okay. So they got a little bit of juice. They got a little juice by the XRP ruling and thinking, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't fold, put our tail between our legs and walk away. MicroStrategy's large Bitcoin impairment losses have given a false impression. Okay, so this was another thing that happened this week. Some accounting rule changes that apparently are pretty big. I guess it's something to do with, corporations. If they have Bitcoin on their books, they're only allowed to claim the lowest price now Okay, let's just read it. MicroStrategy will soon be able to report its Bitcoin holdings each quarter without having to recognize impairment losses if the cryptocurrency's price drops during the period in question. After the Financial Accounting Standards Board voted to change how companies report their finances, investment bank Berenberg said in a report. Since adopting its Bitcoin acquisition strategy in August 2020, MicroStrategy has reported 2.23 billion of cumulative impairment losses. Okay, I don't care what the largest were. MicroStrategy's largest impairment loss of 917 million was recorded in the second quarter of 2022, and the loss featured heavily in news coverage of the earnings, giving the impression that the company's inherent value had been negatively impacted when this was not the case. The change should help MicroStrategy and other companies that hold digital assets to eliminate the poor optics that have been created by impairment losses under the rules that FASB has had in place. So they had to put the lowest price of that period on their books, and it made it look much worse. But we all know that Bitcoin will be. I mean, we all know that it went all the way down to 15,000. It's at 26,000, and it bounces. A German bank has a buy rating on MicroStrategy shares with a price target of 510. The stock closed at 353. So if you listen to that German bank, there's still upside. U.S. investment bank Stifel said American companies could be increasingly receptive to holding digital assets on their books, especially during periods when the market is hot, given the improved impacts to the bottom line. See, this is why that got changed, because they're about to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF or ETFs, hopefully, all at the same time. Hopefully, it would be such garbage if they just approved BlackRock. I wouldn't put my money in BlackRock's ETF I guess if you paid me, I would, but I wouldn't be doing that. But I'm happy that they're going to be able to do. I'm glad that companies are going to be able to do that, and they're going to be feeling safer doing that because they're not going to have to do this and make their company look like they got knocked out. I'm struggling today, folks. It's all good. We're good. All right, that was CoinDesk. Let's look at prices. All right, Bitcoin has been pushing up, but it corrected down. It jumped yesterday. Volume is at what? 14 billion, just barely 14 billion. It's pretty low, but it's under 26. It had gotten above 26. It got rejected. I think that probably means downside coming. It's Friday. We know the SEC likes it, but they're dangling it. Like I said, it seems unlikely. We just got to get this Binance thing out of the way. Whatever they're going to do. People say it's not a black swan if you're anticipating. No, I guess not, because a black swan is unexpected. But something is coming with Binance. How many times do they have to tell you that they're coming for Binance for you to believe it? It's like, be careful. But then, there's always the fear. There's the fear of missing out. Like, oh man, they're going to do what they're going to do with Binance before they accept these spot ETFs. Cardano's at a quarter. Solana's just hovering right under 20. I think there was a big unlock, or not unlock, but there was a bunch of Sol tokens released yesterday, and the price didn't move at all. But they also they're having some good news lately. Polkadot is at 420. Chainlink 625. Hedera is under a nickel. Quant loves $100. Sorry, I'm just looking. Let's get to Algorand. Algorand's at 9.5 cents. It's been ranging between like 9.2 and 9.6 for the past few days. There you go. Let's see how they're doing compared to Bitcoin. ETH compared to Bitcoin is up. Looks like ETH is up on Bitcoin, 0.25%, slightly down in the last week, up 1% the last month. See what my algo friends, what we got. It's down a bit, but very slightly on Bitcoin, down 0.5%, but it's up over 3% on Bitcoin over the last week. But then everything else is red. So it's performed okay against Bitcoin for this last week. Sweet. Okay, we don't need to read that. Let's talk about this real quick. We got 21 shares in Cathie Wood's ARC file for first U.S. spot Ether ETF. SEC hasn't approved Ether or Bitcoin exchange traded funds. Expectations for approvals rise after Grayscale court ruling. So make sure you guys can see this. Yep. The firms are hoping to debut the ARC 21 shares Ethereum ETF, according to a Wednesday filing with the U.S. SEC. Their application is the first of its kind, and it, if offered, would mark the first U.S. exchange-traded fund that's physically backed by the second largest cryptocurrency. Wednesday's filing comes as the race to win approval for the first U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF intensifies. Regulators have cited concern about fraud and price manipulation while rejecting numerous applications over the past decade. But a recent court victory by Grayscale Investments against the SEC in its fight to convert its Bitcoin trust to an ETF is being seen by some analysts as eventually paving the way for a fund. There's been so much regulatory controversy about a Bitcoin spot ETF that I guess many people thought it was a step too far, but we don't, and it's always nice to be first. There have been considerable market developments over the last couple of weeks, Grayscale winning their lawsuit being one of them. Some of the statements out of the judiciary around how they're assessing different products, as well as, quite frankly, the fundamentals in the market. If you look at the state of Ethereum markets today, especially around things like futures products, you're starting to get to a place where those markets are much more established. We'll see. There's so much friction in the process that this will save people. Oh, which means custodying. It may be even more difficult for institutional investors who need to take into account custody and tax reporting as well. All right. So there you go. So we got a Bitcoin, or we got an Ethereum spot ETF potential there. Hey, sweetie, can you go in the other room? Okay. We got a visitor in the room. I'm talking in a certain way today. All right, let's see what else we got. What else did I have? We got Grayscale. Let's look at this real quick. Winklevoss claims fuel. Oh yeah, the Winklevoss claims fuel U.S. investigation of Barry Silbert's DCG crypto empire. Prosecutors spoke to Cameron Winklevoss about claims Silbert has denied fraud allegations by Gemini co-founder Everly. Go in the other room, please. A bitter feud between crypto tycoons has piqued the interest of U.S. investigators who were already looking into the finances of one of the industry's best-known empires. For months, DCG and its chief executive officer, Barry Silbert, have been facing fraud accusations from Cameron Winklevoss, the co-founder of crypto trading platform Gemini Trust. Prosecutors in Brooklyn, FBI agents and the U.S. SEC staff sat in on an interview in recent months with Winklevoss to discuss his allegations, according to people familiar with the matter. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York inquired specifically about Silbert's conduct, said the people who asked not to be identified discussing the confidential probe. Silbert, who hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, referred to in a quick, I'm just reading at this point because I got distracted. Okay, let's see. Gemini Earn, you guys know all about this, right? So now what Cameron Winklevoss from Gemini has gotten the feds looking at Barry Silbert. There we go. But let's get to the actual part that's interesting. As Genesis's liquidity crisis unfolded, Winklevoss said that DCG and Silbert misled creditors, earned customers, and Gemini. DCG implied it had absorbed Genesis's losses when in reality it had entered into a bogus, long-dated promissory note. U.S. law enforcement officials are homing in on the $1.1 billion promissory note that DCG issued to Genesis in the aftermath of the Three Arrows failure. All right. DCG has said it fully intends to address its obligations to Genesis. It's just all such BS. All right. Bitcoin miners. And then we also had from our Algorand friends out there. Let's look at this real quick. Some familiar names. The CFTC goes after Open and other DeFi operations in an enforcement sweep. The U.S. derivatives markets regulator targeted 3 companies, including one from which the CFTC hired a lawyer who ran its technology research division. Open, 0x, and Deridex, offering illegal derivatives trading. So the U.S. derivatives regulators ordering Open, 0x, and Deridex to seize these violations and pay penalties of $250K, $200K, and $100K, respectively. It sounds like Deridex got the low end of the stick because it was a very small protocol. It's crazy that they, I don't even know how many users did Deridex even have. I mean, also, the Algorand community was very skeptical of Deridex. And then they left, and then they went to Optimism. So this is this is their job. I mean, these guys are based out of the United States. I mean, the CFTC, you gotta register with them if you want to offer derivatives, I guess. Especially if they can point to you in the United States and be like, you're the dude behind that. It's not very decentralized, is it? Somewhere along the way, DeFi operators got the idea that unlawful transactions become lawful when facilitated by smart contracts. They do not. Open, a DeFi marketplace associated with the token OSQTH, is a California-based company that the CFTC also accused of failing to properly register as a swap execution facility, a designated contract market, and a futures commission merchant, and also failing to set up a customer identification program to meet Bank Secrecy Act requirements. Deridex, a North Carolina company, was also accused of those additional violations. Were they a North Carolina company? Representatives of Open and OX didn't immediately respond to requests for comment, and CoinDesk couldn't locate a representative for Deridex. Yeah, because it was like one dude and nobody used it. The commission's orders in these cases give no indication that customer funds have been misappropriated. One CFTC commissioner dissented. Okay, let's hear what she said, or he said. Summer, she. It seems like in these regulator situations in the SEC and the CFTC, it's the women that stand up and have some sense, I guess. The commission's orders in these cases give no indication that customer funds have been misappropriated or that any market participants have been victimized by the DeFi protocols on which the commission has unleashed its enforcement powers, said Commissioner Summer Mersinger. I'm concerned that the commission in these cases is taking another step down the path of bringing enforcement actions when we should be engaging with the public. There you go. So there was that. All right. Well, folks, Texas miners they have a pretty, got real hot, I guess. Texas miners have a good situation going on down there in Texas. If they're making more money mining Bitcoin, they do that. If they're going to make more money sending the energy back to the grid, they can do that. So that's a pretty good deal they got over there. Okay. slowing all more bad news for Kroger. The article's changing. Slowing inflation is dragging on Kroger sales. Slowing inflation is dragging on. Kroger needs more inflation. All right, guys, I'm going to go back here. We'll say I'll talk to you guys, and I'm going to move on. Okay, cool. Got that little so irritating, even though we're about it over. Okay, let's look at the chat. You guys, did you guys talk about me yelling at my daughter? Okay, let's see. Hello. Okay, GM. The RWA coalition. That was what? It's Coinbase, Circle, Base, and all Aave or something, like all of these Ethereum based protocols they're doing a real world asset launch. Algorand is not included. Algorand does have a lot of real world assets tokenized on the Algorand blockchain. They've been doing that for a while, but they don't get a lot of shine, that Algorand. This week in Algorand, the Para wallet, which is one of the main wallets, along with DeFi in the Algorand ecosystem, got a bunch of investment from the foundation, Algorand Foundation, Arrington Capital, Borderless Capital, and DWF. So there you go. DWF is putting some funds into the ecosystem, apparently. Some people see that move as the foundation picking favorites. I get that. I think I would tend to see that as, Para was originally the official Algorand wallet and is kind of returning home, to its status as the official Algorand wallet. And yeah. And, you got to shore up these major things in this terrible market where there is very little volume happening in DeFi. And it's just, everything is sort of bleak. You got to shore up the wallets. I don't blame them for a second for doing that. Interesting. Paul Barron ripped on Cardano yesterday in an update. Cardano is going through it too. A lot of people, if you're in the Algorand ecosystem, maybe you're like, oh man, this is uniquely bad. But if you look at Cardano, they're having protocols leave. There's a lot of capitulation happening over at Cardano too. So I didn't see what Paul Barron said about Cardano, but it doesn't surprise me. That was a little Esmeralda that Devin is trying to keep secret. No, she just sat right next to me and was like dropping things. When daddy's out here talking, got to leave him alone. I think OX is part of the Brave browser wallet. Oh. Okay. DareDex is different. That was DYDX. Okay. FXDX. FXDX. Why did I think it was DareDex? Because Patrick thought it was DareDex. Margin is the devil in crypto anyway. Well, at least I tried. So guys, rest assured, they are not paying attention. Bruh. All right, I need to delete that tweet. That's a here. We'll go live on Twitter of me deleting a tweet because it's bullshit. Boo. Delete. All right, I deleted that tweet. Shoot. Last time I trust you people. Don't need it. Yeah, more it's being serious. Don't need another MyAlgo issue. Okay. All right, now I'm just confused. Bruh. That's funny. Wait, what? FXDX. All right, whatever. That was me remembering that wrong, I guess. There was a Daradex.algo. Like, what? FXDX. That's what it was. Yeah, because I didn't think FXDX. So FXDX is on. No, that's what are you guys talking about? FXDX is a completely different thing. Now I'm just confused. It's not FXDX. That it was a copy of FXDX. But it was called DYDX. Oh, DYDX? Are you really? Oh, okay. Thank you for sending me. Okay, let me look at your DM. I won't share it. Let me see what he said. Oh, my bad. So you were. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. So it was on Algorand. My bad, guys. All right, Johnny. My bad. Um. Okay. I confused. But isn't FXDX FXD? Okay. This is just gotten pathetic. But bro, well, A, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you. And B, but FXDX is like a major exchange. Like, right? Isn't, or this is just the same, this isn't the same thing? I'm going to read that in a second, but FXDX exchange, it was just the same name, but just a different thing. Okay. Right. Got it. Daradex was good. FXDX was bad. FXDX was on Algo. It was a copy of GMX and Sketchy. Okay. They did get harassed for bugs and then they left to go to Optimism. That's a lot of F's. That's a lot of F's. Sheck says that's a lot of F's and a lot of X. Daradex, FXDX bot followers. And yes, it was a copy. It was a copy of GMX. And they had the same name as something that's on base now. All right. Well, my apologies to Daradex because I was thinking that they were that sketchy group. And I forgot that Daradex was around and like legitly shut down because they were dealing with that. So, okay. The only reason so I didn't actually need to delete that tweet, but I did anyways, because who the hell wants to talk about it? Because it's actual community members and it was not the sketchy group that I remember that I guess still exists that doesn't have to deal with this. But the guy that was trying to do something and clearly played by the rules got hit. All right. Well, there you go. Well, I'm glad they couldn't find you. I don't know what to say. Okay. All right, guys. Algodex has put on a vote for some Dow questions. Samino's face. Oh, my God. All right, guys. Well, this was really fun. You know what I mean? Did you guys have fun today? I feel stressed after that. Usually I go, that was just, I just feel like that was stressful. All right. Algodex has a vote. If you guys want to go vote about something for Algodex, go do that. Just Algonaut, everyday Algonaut wants me to say Dex some more. All right. Well, again, I'm sorry to Daradex for mixing you up with those guys. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'll see you next week and it'll be better. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Have a good day. Have a good Friday. We'll see what happens. Have a good weekend. Touch some grass. Get out of this because I certainly need to. All right, peace.